Welcome back, guys. We are in Norfolk, Virginia, more specifically the Larchmont neighborhood in Norfolk, Virginia, 23508 zip code. So this community is really close in proximity to ODU. So you have a lot of people that work at ODU living here. It's a beautiful community, gorgeous schools that it serves as well. So houses, let's talk real estate here for a second. Houses are gonna start in the low 200. You'll have some small brick and vinyl siding ranch homes and all the way up to about 4,000 square foot waterfront houses. So prices range from low 200s to the last house that sold in here, the highest one was 1.3 million. So you have a huge variety of price points in here and everything in between. The average sales price in this community is like $475 to $535. So that's a pretty good median there. Now, let's talk a little bit of history about Larchmont. This was all farmland and it was bought by a family in 1920. And they basically developed the community, put it in different parcels, and then started selling them off and people started building homes. So you have homes here age in the range of like that 1920s all the way to about 80s. 80s is going to be the most recent house built here. Beautiful established neighborhood. You've got ginormous magnolias and oak trees, crepe myrtles. So a lot of trees that are native to Virginia, they grew up here. They started out here and it's absolutely beautiful. There's a few spots in this neighborhood that have like apartment buildings, very, very few. It's mostly single family homeowners here, but you do have a few duplexes, triplexes, and small apartment buildings, which gives the neighborhood just a really good, wholesome feel. Check out this cute pumpkin patch at this church. There's like 4 churches in this community itself. And they serve the community in different ways. Now, a few things to consider about the real estate here if you're gonna purchase. This is considered a neighborhood where you're gonna have to get flood insurance. So let's talk flood insurance for just a second while we're driving. Every neighborhood and street in Hampton Roads is in a flood zone. Now the difference is, are you in a high risk or a low risk flood zone? Flood zone X means that it's the low risk and you don't have to have, you're not required by your mortgage company to have flood insurance in that X flood zone. Now if you're in AE, that is where you're gonna get into those places where you are gonna have lender required flood insurance. Now flood insurance in Hampton Roads can vary anywhere from like a $250 a year premium. So, that's what, like $12 a month? Not that bad. Or you can get as high as like $3,000 to $4,000. So that's something that you want to absolutely take in consideration and do some research with your real estate agent. Talk to your agent, figure out who they trust as a insurance officer, and they can give you a really good quote even before you go see the house if you want to do your due diligence. So these houses here are all waterfront, beautiful, beautiful views of the Lafayette River. The Lafayette River is basically like a middle ground between the James River and the Chesapeake Bay. Access some really deep, gorgeous waters this way. So again, we've got older homes here, but they have a ton of charm. You're not gonna find the same house in here twice. You do have a variety of care as well in the community. Some of these homes are beautifully well kept, beautifully maintained, and then other ones are, I haven't seen any eyesores in the neighborhood by far, but some of them, maybe could take some TLC, little loving care there. Right now, this is October, so we're in the fall, beginning of fall. Leaves are starting to change, it's starting to fall. And so this is the time of the year where people have to like really stay on top of their yards in order to keep them looking pristine. What I love about this community is most of the streets are actually lined with crepe myrtles or oak trees. So you have these big, huge, massive trees mixed between really pretty flowering crepe myrtles. And so it really does make for a gorgeous a gorgeous drive. All right, so now that we've talked about the real estate here, about the homes, what you're gonna find here, let's talk about the proximity. This neighborhood is within blocks of ODU, Old Dominion University, which means it's actually really close also to that Ghent area that we visited before. So the huge medical facilities down there in downtown Norfolk, the Centero General and CHKD area. So you've got a lot happening right here, close to this downtown Norfolk area. Now, if you're gonna go the other way, you're probably about a 20 to 25-minute drive to Little Creek Naval Station, which is also a huge place, which is where a lot of these folks are gonna commute to. A few other big hubs that this neighborhood is gonna be really easy and close to get to are gonna be Little Creek Naval Station. You've got about a 20 to 25-minute drive to that. You are close to the airport as well. So if you're gonna do a lot of traveling, this would be a great spot for you to live. So some fun things to do here in the area near Larchmont in Norfolk is gonna be the Norfolk Zoo. Totally have to visit that one. Downtown area, you've got a ton of entertainment going on down there in the Ghent section of Norfolk. Very artsy area, and so you can find good live music, you can find really cool art museums. This is really close, very, very close to probably about 10 to 12 breweries. So if you're into some craft beer, you gotta check those places out as well. Now for the kids, you've got the Children's Museum on the other side of the tunnel in Portsmouth, which is a really fun place to go if you haven't been. I already mentioned the zoo. There's a ton of parks in the area as well. If it's summertime, you have to go down to the oceanfront and hit up Ocean Breeze Fun Park. So if you're looking to live in Norfolk and you want a good community to live in, raise your children in, I would highly suggest this Larchmont area because the homes are beautifully kept, wonderfully made. I highly suggest this Larchmont neighborhood in Norfolk, 23508 zip code. If you're looking for a very beautiful, family-friendly and established neighborhood to live in here in Norfolk, Virginia.